welcome back to Indigenous Children's Storytime. As always, Storytimes are dedicated to my 4 amazing sons: Nazee, misidentified as Jaxon; Omni, misidentified as Joshua; Maji, misidentified as Theodore; and Adrael. Mommy loves you more than words can express, and if you know my sons, share these videos with my babies. Peaceful greetings. We are back with another story for Indigenous Children's Storytime. Today we're going to be reading a wonderful book from the Black Bear Diner with their beautiful mural in the background. Story read today by Nature Goddess, Empress, Mother Talisa. We will be reading The Legend of the Indian Paintbrush. Retold and illustrated by Tomie dePaola. Special note to my sons: these natives described in this book are not the original bloodlines of this land whom live on these reservations. They did not build the pyramid and lived in teepees on our land, while we had vast civilization and pyramid structures that far outnumber all other pyramids in any other locations around the world and in the ocean combined. Meaning there are more pyramids on this land, Atlantis, Turtle Island, than if you were to total up all the other pyramids throughout the world and put them together. The pyramids here would outnumber all of those in total. Book coming really soon with my new and improved children's book cover and new title. New title: Little Nazee the Great goes for a walk with Mommy to the various local valley libraries. I had to change my title because nobody knew that my book is about all of the wonderful and spectacular adventures Nazee and I had going to the library and then while we were at the library. No one knew that my book was about the library at all. Ebooks will be ready just in time for early holiday gifting and long holiday travels. Look in the description to pre-order your ebook today. As I was a former foster child, all foster children will get my ebook for free. Yay! Ignite the imagination, the creativity, and the reader within the little great in your life. Pre-order your ebook today. Now to our book. The Legend of the Indian Paintbrush. Many years ago, when the people traveled the plains and lived in a circle of teepees, there was a boy smaller than the rest of the children in the tribe. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't keep up with the other boys, who were always riding and running, shooting their bows and wrestling to prove their strength. Sometimes his mother and father worried for him. But the boy, who was called Little Gopher, was not without a gift of his own. We each have our own gifts. What's yours? What's your gifts? From an early age, he made toy warriors from scraps of leather and pieces of wood, and he loved to decorate smooth stones with red juices from berries he found in the hills. The wise shaman of the tribe understood Little Gopher had a gift that was special. Do not struggle, Little Gopher. Your path will not be the same as others. My path wasn't the same as the others either. They will grow up to be warriors. Your place among the people will be remembered for a different reason. And in a few years, when little Gopher was older, he went out to the hills alone to think about becoming a man. For this was the custom of the tribe. And it was there that a dream vision came to him. The sky filled with clouds, and out of them came a young Indian maiden and an old grandfather. She carried a rolled up animal skin, and he carried a paintbrush made of fine animal hairs and pots of paint. Ooh, sounds like fun. The grandfather spoke, "My son, these are the tools by which you shall become great among your people." You will paint pictures of the deeds of the warriors and the visions of the shaman, and the people shall see them and remember them forever. The maiden unrolled a pure white buckskin and placed it on the ground. "Find a buckskin as white as this," she told him. "Keep it, and one day you will paint a picture that is as pure as the colors in the evening sky." And she finished speaking. The clouds cleared, and the sunset of great beauty filled the sky. Little Gopher looked at the white buckskin, and on it he saw colors as bright and beautiful as those made by the setting sun. So there was no paint yet on the buckskin, but he could envision in his mind the beautiful colors of the sunset on his white buckskin that had nothing on it yet. So that means he was using his imagination to see those colors that weren't there. Then the sun slowly sank behind the hills. The sky grew dark, and the dream vision was over. Little Gopher returned to the circle of the people. The next day, he began to make soft brushes from the hairs of different animals and stiff brushes from the hairs of horses' tails. He gathered berries and flowers and rocks of different colors and crushed them to make his paints. So he's using natural organic materials from the earth to make his colors. He collected the skins of animals which the warriors brought home from their hunts. He stretched the skins on wooden frames and pulled them until they were tight. You see right here, this is almost like stretching the canvas. So as you see here in this native process, they're utilizing an exposed wood and stretching the animal skin towards the wood. In this other process, the wood is covered and it is not exposed. The canvas is stretched over the wood and around the sides and then adhered or secured to the back. A little bit different, but it's pretty much the same. And he began to paint pictures of great hunts. Look at all it looks like it could have been bisons or buffalo or maybe bulls. great hunts with the warriors, of great deeds, of great dream visions, so that people would always remember. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that.
Can you think of any great deeds you've done this week? What about great deeds you've done today?
But even as he painted, little Gopher sometimes longed to put aside his brushes and ride out with the warriors. But he always remembered his dream vision, and he did not go with them.
What are some of your great dreams?
Many months ago, he had found his pure white buckskin, but it remained empty because he could not find the colors of the sunset. He used the brightest flowers, the reddest berries. He used the brightest flowers, the reddest berries, and the deepest purples from the rocks. And still, his paint never satisfied him. They looked dull and dark. Have you ever experienced that with painting? I know I have. Just the colors in my last painting, I just didn't feel that they were bright enough to capture exactly what I was attempting to express. The Aurora Borealis, aka the Northern Lights, I couldn't find paints that just popped like those colors. They're so bright. So I know I can relate to what he's saying in this story. Can you? He began to go to the top of a hill each evening and look at the colors that filled the sky to try to understand how to make them. He longed to share the beauty of his dream vision with people. But he never gave up trying. And every morning when he awoke, he took out his brushes and his pots of paint and created the stories of the people with the tools he had. One night as he lay awake, he heard a voice calling to him, "Because you have been faithful to the people and true to your gift, you shall find the colors you are seeking." That's amazing. Almost like the magic paintbrush when Liang kept painting with nature around him and he was gifted with the magic paintbrush.
If you love painting like I love painting and you love books about painting, then make sure you watch this video next of Liang and the magic paintbrush.
Tomorrow, take the white buckskin and go to the place where you watch the sun in the evening. There on the ground, you will find what you need. The next evening, as the sun began to go down, Little Gopher put aside his brushes and went to the top of the hill. As the colors of the sunset spread across the sky, you see it across the sky? And there on the ground all around him were brushes filled with paint, each one a color of the sunset. Little Gopher began to paint quickly and surely, using one brush, then another. And as the colors in the sky began to fade, Little Gopher gazed at the white buckskin, and he was happy. He had found the colors of the sunset. He carried his painting down to the circle of people, leaving the brushes on the hillside. And the next day, when the people awoke, the hill was ablaze with color, for the brushes had taken root in the earth. And multiplied into plants of brilliant reds, oranges, and yellows. And every spring from that time, the hills and the meadows burst into bloom. And every spring the people danced and sang the praises of Little Gopher, who had painted for the people. And the people no longer called him Little Gopher, but he who brought the sunset to the earth. And the people no longer called him Little Gopher, but he who brought the sunset to the earth. That is so beautiful.
The end. I hope my sons and everyone watching enjoyed this Indigenous children's story time. Thank you for sharing, subscribing, and hitting the notification bell. And we appreciate you watching all of our Indigenous children's story time. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next story time. If you like painting, make sure you go and watch this video next.